Hey everyone, my name is Jessica Funderman and this is my intro video for school law. A little bit about me. I am originally from a small town in Iowa, but I currently live in Bloomington, Minnesota. I went to college at Wayne State in Nebraska, where I got my Bachelor's of Science in Family and Consumer Sciences education. I'm currently in a graduate program at Fort Hays State, mastering in instructional technology. Currently, I work as a middle school family and consumer science teacher in Shakopee, Minnesota, where I'm also the student council advisor. Some of my hobbies include traveling, cooking, crafting, visiting family and friends, and watching football. You can see a picture of me and my boyfriend in the top right corner there. He's a college football coach, so I enjoy going to his football games. Shakopee Public Schools is a fairly large district, especially compared to the school I went to and then my first year teaching. We have one high school, two middle schools, and I teach at one of those, 5 elementary schools, an early childhood center, and an alternative high school. Our enrollment is about 8,300 in the whole district. Just over half of that is made up of white students, and then we also have Asian, Hispanic or Latino, and Black or African American, and those three populations have a greater percentage than the state of Minnesota average. Students in our building that are English language learners are about 11.7%, which is also above the state average. 35% of all students are on free or reduced lunch, which is pretty spot on with the state of Minnesota. Shakopee Public Schools' mission statement is Shakopee Schools, in partnership with our community, will educate lifelong learners to succeed in a diverse world. Critical reflection of my district. I had to go onto my school's website a little bit and search around a little bit just to gain a better understanding. And right away, I saw the assurance of compliance and mandated reporting tab come up, and that was directly linked to the Department of Ed in Minnesota, where all federal and state laws are listed. So having those right there should be that, they're at the forefront of the district's mind when they are making policies and reviewing those as they're updated. And they're also there for community members, parents, staff, whoever to find them if they're needing that information as well. I also found the district's 3-year strategic plan. This is the school board's plan that they are going to revisit, look at what's on their agenda for the next 3 years, and I saw that they included district policy, just overall that they want to review the policies, and if there's things that need to be changed and whatnot, they have that on there. This is important because a few years back, our superintendent at the time was embezzling money, and he now has federal charges and is in prison, but obviously that caused a lot of frustration from community members, staff, and everyone just wanted to know, how is this allowed to happen? So policies needed to be revisited regarding that situation, and they have. Unfortunately, we're in a little bit of a budget crisis because of just spending habits were not very good at that time, that the embezzlement was also happening, so we're kind of working ourselves out of that hole as a district, but with new leadership, the community has really demanded transparency, so these things can't happen in the future. And the district's doing a good job of really showing, the direct steps that they're doing to fix things. In regards to safety in the district, we use the Alice Lockdown training system. Staff are trained on it every year. Students also do training and then actually practice multiple times. And then we use the Raptor Visitor Management System, where people have to get let into the building. Everything's locked, and they log in with their driver's license, so everything is tracked, who's in and out of the building. Clear expectations come from my district, but at times the reasoning kind of lacks. We're not really told how or why things are being done. I think in the recent years they've done a better job of getting or putting surveys out to gather information, especially since our past superintendent situation. But there's still been some issues as a teacher that we have just kind of been told this is what you're doing, and it didn't seem like they really got student or teacher feedback about things before they just made it a policy or this is what you're doing. So luckily we've had some pretty vocal teachers that have kind of stood up for the things and have made some change happen when it was really necessary. Personal critique, I would say I have a basic understanding. I know the policies and procedures that apply to me as a teacher, but not necessarily the laws behind them. I'm, in graduate school right now, so some of the classes I've already taken have really helped me, specifically the case studies we've done, having to look at cases and laws and kind of reason and be that administrator in a tough situation. Specifically, we looked at searching student belongings and discrimination. So I feel like I have a better understanding of some laws in regards to those two topics. Otherwise, I feel a little bit nervous starting this class just because it's kind of out of my comfort zone. I usually, I'm more interested in diving into material and classes with technology or specific curriculum for my courses. So this is just going to be a little bit more of a challenge, I think, for me, but I'm excited to have this class push me a little bit. So that is included in my plan. And then just this program in general, I'm about halfway through my master's, so I'm sure future classes are going to help me a lot as well. And I just really want to grow as an educator for my students and my colleagues. In those situations where, things were happening in my building that myself and other colleagues weren't okay with, I wasn't really vocal or somebody that was making the change happen, and I want to be. I want to be more vocal and confident in helping change happen when it is needed. Thanks.